morning, Year 2, and welcome to your Friday reading lesson. This is going to be your last reading lesson of the week and also of the term, and hopefully will be your last ever remote learning reading lesson, but we will wait and see. So I'm going to share the screen and let's go. So we are carrying on with our retrieval skill this week. We're going to be going into the text. We're going to be answering questions by picking the answers up from the text and taking them out, just like Stevie, the golden retriever, does. Sniffs into the text, finds the answer, and takes it out. We're retrieving things from the text, picking them up and using them. We're going to be looking at where, who, what, when, and why questions. And we're also going to be looking at true and false and tick box questions as well. So finding them multiple choice as well, and some of them we'll be doing next term too as well. So today we're going to read the question, we're then going to find the key words in the question, we're going to find the key words then in the text, read around to find the answer, and then write the answer down. Okay, if we're looking for a where question, it will be a place. A who question, it will be a character. A what would be an object or a thing. A when would be a time, and a why would be a reason. Okay, so let's read chapter 3, Stanley the Kite. Mr. Landchop had always liked to take the boys out with him on Sunday afternoons to a museum or roller skating in the park, but it was difficult when they were crossing streets or moving around in crowds. Stanley and Arthur would often be jostled from his side, and Mr. Landchop worried about speeding taxis or that hurrying people might accidentally knock them down. It was easier after Stanley got flat. Mr. Landchop discovered that he could roll Stanley up without hurting him at all. He would tie a piece of string around Stanley to keep him from unrolling and make a loop in the string for himself. It was as simple as carrying a parcel, and he could hold on to Arthur with the other hand. Stanley did not mind being carried because he had never much liked to walk. Arthur didn't like to walk either, but he had to, and it made him mad. So, there are two things that Mr. Landchop liked to do on a Sunday afternoon with the boys. What were they? So find your key words and write them down. Okay, pause if you need to, and then unpause me when you're ready for the answer. Okay, well done. So our key words are, we're going to be looking for Mr. Landchop, and we're going to be looking Sunday afternoon, and we're talking about the boys. So we might be looking for Stanley or Arthur. So let's go back. We've got Sunday afternoon, we've got Mr. Landchop, and we've got boys. We've got all of our keywords. So I think it's going to be around here. Let's see if we're right. Mr. Landchop had always liked to take the boys out with him on Sunday afternoons to a museum or roller skating in the park. So two things they liked to do together was a museum or roller skating. Fantastic. Right. What would happen to Stanley and Arthur in the crowds? So have a little look. What are your key words? Pause and see if you can remember what would happen to them in the crowds. Okay, well done. So we're looking for the key words Stanley and Arthur, and we're looking for the word crowds. What is going to happen in the crowds? Let's have a little look. So let's go back to our text. Here we are. There's crowds, but it was difficult when they were crossing streets or moving about in crowds. Stanley and Arthur would often be jostled from his side, which means moved along from his side and made to be bumpy, and jostled means they were moved along and pushed along sort of thing. So it was jostled. They would be jostled around from his side. So they'd be moved away from Mr. Landchop's side. Okay. Number 3, why did Mr. Landchop worry about the speed in taxis? Pause and have a go. Okay, so well done. Our keywords are Mr. Landchop and speed in taxis. So we're going to find them in the text. So let's have a look, see if it's on this page left. Oh, here's Mr. Landchop and here is speed in taxis. Let's read around and see if we can find. Mr. Landchop worried about speed in taxis or that hurrying people might accidentally knock them down. So he worried about speed in taxis because they might accidentally Might knock them down accidentally. Okay. What would Mr. Lambchop do to Stanley to keep him safe? Pause and write down your answer. Okay, well done if you've already done that. Fantastic. So we're looking at Mr. Lambchop now. Is our keyword. It's also about Stanley and it's about safe, keeping him safe. So what did he do to keep him safe? Let's have a look. So Mr. Lambchop discovered it was easier after Stanley got flat. He could roll Stanley up without hurting him at all. So Mr. Lambchop discovered that he could roll Stanley up without hurting him at all and then carry him. So those two things. So those two things are what he could do to help him. So we've got roll him up and carry him. And why did Stanley like being carried? Pause and have a go. Okay, well done. And if we look back here, why did he like being carried? Let's find Stanley and carried and see if we can find it out. So there's Stanley, Stanley. Carrying, carried. Oh, here we are. Stanley did not mind being carried because he had never much liked to walk. So there we go. He didn't like to walk. Didn't like to walk. And the last question, why was Arthur mad? So read back in the text, why was Arthur mad? Pause and have a go. Okay, and well done if you've done that one. So we're looking for Arthur and mad. So here we are, Arthur and mad. So it's going to be around here. Arthur didn't like to walk either, but it made him mad because he still had to walk. He had to walk. He had to walk and he didn't like it. So that's why he was mad. He didn't like walking, but he had to. Okay, fantastic. Right. We're now going to have a go at an extension. So think about a time that a friend or a family member made you cross. What happened and how did you sort it out? What are the good ways to deal with a problem? Write it down and send any of your answers and any of your ideas to year2@thepalmeracademy.com. Have a lovely Friday, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.